phosphorus for bone. We always hear about calcium, calcium, calcium. Phosphorus. We need that for healthy bones. And this is why chocolate is associated with longevity. If you recall, there was a great book written years ago, which we're going to look at, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And the Oompa Loompas had brilliant, pearly white, strong teeth because chocolate is great for your teeth. Chocolate toothpaste is coming. This is what the cacao bean looks like when you break it open, when you break it into the different pieces. And those are called nibs. And these products are available here in Finland now and all over the world. Raw chocolate products. In fact, this industry is now over $100 million industry. And it all came from one moment when I bit into a raw cacao bean. And for the last 8.5 years, I've been proselytizing about the power of chocolate all over the place. In fact, it never stops. Some people complain about that. Anyway, iconically, chocolate is associated with wonder and magic. And if you see that giant head back there, that's an Olmec head. They are the ones who originated the word cacao. And you can see the bird in this image as well, indicating that connection between birds and that realm and chocolate. Chocolate, as I discovered when I was studying in Oaxaca, Mexico, is added to guacamole, but not processed chocolate, raw chocolate. They take the crushed up nibs and they put it in their guacamole. Try it at home. I was fortunate. I grew up in California with Mexican people, and I was in love with guacamole from an early time. What an amazing thing to have your cuisine expanded, and that's what we're doing with chocolate. I got so into chocolate, I started growing chocolate. This is my chocolate nursery in Hawaii. I have a farm in Canada, I have a farm in Hawaii, and the purpose of that farm in Hawaii is to grow chocolate and to explore the mystery and magic of this great plant. I grew that chocolate tree from seed. Such an amazing amount of learning can come from growing plants. You can learn more from a garden many times than you can from a book. I was very, very excited to explore. Maybe there's even more magic here than we know about. And I have continued to discover that there's little things. Anandamide, for example. The bliss chemical is present in chocolate. The love chemicals, phenethylamines, that are damaged by heat, but entirely present in raw chocolate. There's at least 7 of them in raw chocolate. And those are the feelings of love, happiness, and fulfillment that chocolate gives us. It's from a chemistry that's in the plant. This is the book. And if you recall the book, I do want to mention that when I got to chapter 16, there was a most amazing sighting that occurred for me when I was in Amsterdam many years ago. Can guess what happens there? Oompa Loompas, everyone said at once. Oompa Loompas, imported direct from Loompa Land, said Mr. Wonka proudly. There's no such place, said Mrs. Salt. Excuse me, dear lady, but Mr. Wonka, cried Mrs. Salt. I am a teacher of geography. Then you'll know all about it, said Mr. Wonka. And oh, what a terrible country it is. Nothing but thick jungles infested by the most dangerous beasts in the entire world. Hornswogglers and snozwangers and those terrible, wicked wangdoodles. A wangdoodle would eat 10 Oompa Loompas for breakfast and come galloping back for a second helping. When I went out there, I found the little Oompa Loompas living in tree houses. They had to live in tree houses to escape from the wangdoodles and the hornswogglers and the snozwangers. They were practically starving to death. They were living on green caterpillars, and the caterpillars tasted revolting. And the Oompa Loompas spent every moment of their days climbing through the treetops, looking for anything to mix with the caterpillars to make them taste better. The one food that they longed for more than any other was the cacao bean. But they couldn't get it. And Oompa Loompa was lucky if he found 3 or 4 cacao beans a year. But oh, how they craved them. Listen to this. They used to dream about cacao beans all night and talk about them all day. You had only to mention the word cacao to an Oompa Loompa, and he would start dribbling at the mouth. Listen closely. The cacao bean, Mr. Wonka continued, which grows on the cacao tree, is the thing that all chocolate is made from. Roald Dahl knew, and it was in the book, the great book, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Remember the Oompa Loompas? This is an elf with a cacao pod, but the sculpture is 3,000 years old. It's intrinsic to the magic of chocolate. In Mexico, this is where the great cuisine was innovated, and it was always served as a drink. But today, we have blenders, and it makes it so much easier. You can upgrade your smoothie, your protein shake, by adding a dash of raw cacao and bringing forth the magic and wonder, just as they did in ancient Mexico. On the Mexican 100 peso note, if you look closely, right there next to Xocolatl are actual cacao recipes iconically represented. We have innovated and brought forth now an entirely new cuisine, brought to the greatest chefs in the world, revived some of the great additives of chocolate, creating these wonderful and delightful recipes. The one question that I get more than any other after all of this is it possible to OD on chocolate? And the answer is yes. Thank you so much. I'm David Wolfe. Have the best day ever.